Yeah, we are number 25. This is 25. Yeah, yeah.
佢點都佢自己點都要講下嘢啩？
係咯，佢可以講噶嘛，佢係嗰個唔得啫嘛。嗰個咩 provincial 得啫嘛，
好似係啊。
我一樣嘅都係嗰個。
I feel incredibly honored, incredibly privileged for your presence here tonight, for your support, for your generosity, for your encouragement. And can we start off by giving another round of applause to Calcin and Janelle, and to all our performers, to our MC Joseph, to our amazing sound team, to the restaurant Angel and her crew, because they really pulled it together to make this happen tonight. And of course, this would not be possible without my amazing fundraising team, Chair Judy Young. Let's give Judy and the fundraising team a big round of applause. And I want to say thank you once again. Tonight I look in the room and I see so many people who care about our community. I see people from different walks of life, people who are involved in community organizations, and I look at our riding here in the northeast corner of Toronto, our beautiful riding called Scarborough North. Yeah, let's give it up for Scarborough North. And I have to tell you, my job is amazing because for 13 years I've got the privilege to go around this riding and to see the incredible dedication of everyday people trying to make life better. 30 years ago, the Yihang Center began and was built in our riding. Founder, Dr. Joseph Wong, is right here, and so many people have made Yihang the center it is today. People like Julia Chen. Julia, you know, I gotta take a moment to acknowledge Julia, because Julia received the National Caregiver Award because she not only took care of her late husband, but when she moved into Yihang, she took care of all the seniors, organizing social events. It's people like Julia that make our community what it is. Also around 30 years ago, the Chinese Cultural Center began, also here in our beautiful riding of Scarborough North. And I see President Angela Chan, I see Chairman Dr. Adrian Chung. They work so hard to make sure that culture is a part of our community. But it's not just Chinese culture, it is a multicultural hub, because Canada is made up of people from different parts of the world. And they have made that into a truly center for intercultural, multicultural learning and sharing. And I see people from C Center, Chair Michelle Chu and the new President Don Ho. And C Center Center began in 1986 in Regent Park. It began as a center to support refugees and new immigrants, predominantly from Southeast Asia. And today they work in our riding and all across the Greater Toronto area because people come together when we help others. And everywhere I look, I can continue on to give example after example of how everyday people come together to make our community, to make our country a better place. And that is what is at stake in this election. Ladies and gentlemen, when I started in 2006 running for my first election, it was about helping people. When I was on the school board, one of the biggest problems was ESL funding, because each and every year, $80 million was given by the provincial government to support children who were trying to learn English. They were new immigrants. But the school board took half of that money and spent it elsewhere. So we fought. When I got on the board, it was in fact Sue Wong, our former trustee colleague, former MPP. We worked together to fight to ensure that that money was spent on ESL students. We fought hard, and in 2008, the board decided it was going to increase the funding allocated to ESL, and eventually almost 100% of that money went to support new immigrant students. I got involved in politics to help people. And that is why you are all here in this room. I know you are here because you believe in a country that helps one another. A country where people can come from different parts of the world and be part of a multicultural society, where we can drive positive change, welcome new Canadians, provide them with support, and continue to build this great country. I would be remiss to not look back and remember that it was in the late 1800s that the first Chinese came to this country. They came here as railroad workers. They came here to build our country. But for decade after decade after decade until the mid-20th century, the Chinese were discriminated against. They were told that they could not be Canadian. They were not given a right to vote. And through the Chinese Exclusion Act, an act of the federal government, they could not become Canadian. A head tax was imposed on those Chinese. They were forced to pay extravagant amount if they wanted to come to Canada. Well, folks, we heard rhetoric that said the Chinese could not be successful Canadians. And we learned from those mistakes. We learned as Canadians that that is not the right way to build a country. My mother came to Canada in the 1970s, and it was Pierre Elliott Trudeau who opened Canada's doors to immigration, who put in our Multiculturalism Act. It was that Liberal government that ensured our Charter of Rights and Freedoms would guarantee each and every Canadian equal rights before and under the law. We learned from mistakes of the past, and we have built a country that it is what it is today. A country that is multicultural, a country where we welcome others to be part of this great Canadian family. And ladies and gentlemen, this is really what this election is going to be about. You know, last year there was an election in the province of Ontario, and we had a party that promised to be for the people, they said. My friend, former Liberal MPP Sue Wong knows that because she heard it at so many doors. The other side said they were for the people. I look around Ontario now, and I see doctors protesting cuts to emergency rooms and hospitals across Ontario. I see teachers being laid off. I see schools in our own community, Albert Campbell Collegiate, Albert Campbell Collegiate that told me that they are canceling courses because teachers are being laid off. And students now have less choice. They have less options. Their class sizes are getting bigger. I believe government has a very important role to play. Government has an important role to play to invest in Canadians, to invest in families, and to invest in our children and our youth and our seniors. Because so many of them have worked so hard. 4 years ago, when we came into the office, into federal office, we had one of the highest unemployment rates. There were record deficits, $150 billion in deficits that were created by the last Conservative government, with nothing to show for it. Veterans Affairs offices shut down across the country. Long-form census canceled. Status of women programs canceled. Cutbacks. And people were suffering because of it. Over the past 4 years, we have worked hard to invest in Canadians. Today, over 1 million jobs have been created across Canada over the past 4 years. Today, Canada has one of the highest growth records among the G7 nations. And today, we have the 40-year low unemployment rate. We have invested in families through the Canada Child Benefit that gives more money to 9 out of 10 Canadian families. It has lifted 300,000 children out of poverty. We have invested in strengthening the Canada Pension Plan so that seniors, our elders who work so hard each and every day, when they retire, they can have a good pension and they can live with dignity. We have worked to improve health. Under the last government, they barely spoke to the provinces. We renegotiated the health accord. We renegotiated that agreement to flow money through to the provinces so that we could have good health care. And we're going one step forward. We are putting forward a vision for national pharmacare across this country so that each and every Canadian has access to prescription drugs and medication. We believe in building a better Canada. And it's a Canada that involves the efforts of each and every one of you. Today you are here. This event is called Win with Sean Chan. I gotta be clear. This election is not about me. It's about each and every one of us. I am here as your candidate, but I need your support. I need you to continue to come out and support our efforts to knock on doors, to make telephone calls, because every vote is going to count in this election. And we are telling Canadians why this is so important. It's important because the choice is clear. We either go back in time to the days of Stephen Harper and the Conservative government. They're going to have a good buddy at the provincial level. And I don't want to even imagine what Canada and what Ontario is going to look like under 2 Conservative governments. Each and every day in the news, I see communities suffering because of the actions of the provincial Conservatives. That choice, ladies and gentlemen, is up to you and me and all of us together. We need to reach out and let voters know that the way forward is the way to prosperity. It's by investing in Canadians. It's by having strong programs. It's by being strong in our economy through the trade deals that we have been able to negotiate. Not only NAFTA, that we renegotiated and we eliminated those horrible steel and aluminum tariffs that the US imposed on us to renegotiate the new NAFTA. We also signed on to CETA, the trade agreement with the European Union countries. We signed on to CPTPP, which allows us to access the Asian markets. Our government is working each and every day with a forward vision when so many countries around the world are building walls and looking inwards. The choice is going to be very clear, folks. Do we turn back time or do we move forward? And my answer to you, and your answer by being here tonight, is that we choose forward. We choose to build a good country, an inclusive country, and a better country. And it's going to happen with each and every one of you. I want to thank you for being out here tonight. I want to thank you for your generosity and your support. And I want to thank you because we only have a few weeks left. And I hope to see each and every one of you in our campaign office. We are making calls, we are knocking on doors, we are having a fantastic energy because the people are talking and they see the damage that is done when we cut, when we apply austerity, and they know that hope and investment and positive politics will lead Canada to a better and brighter future. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you so much for being here tonight. I look forward to seeing you soon, and from the bottom of my heart, thank you. I cannot do my job for the past 13 years without your incredible support. This election is about all of us. Let's work together and choose forward together. Thank you so much. 谢谢大家，多谢大家，多謝大家，merci beaucoup.
Ladies and gentlemen, our good friend Sean Chan. Can we all stand up and give it a big round of applause, please?